So that's going to wrap it up today, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. That was horrible, man.
That was rough.
I give up, man. It's not working.
Today on the show.
Good morning, Scallywags. Happy Friday.
105.
105.
That's what we're at.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Century mark. We passed it.
Yes.
Yay!
And last week on our 100th episode, we were taking a look back. The episode was rather lengthy. Mm-hmm. We were aware of that, and of course, it was the 100th episode, so it was going to be from day one, pretty much. But it actually was going to be longer.
It was going to be a lot longer. Yeah.
We talked about our favorite moments and things like that, and then we were going to go into talking about moments that just didn't work. But the battery ran out on us, and so
that's a moment that didn't work.
So it became a moment that didn't work, ironically. So that's what you're getting today. We're going to take a look back again and discuss some of the things from previous episodes that just either didn't work or just didn't. We're nitpicking on some of these, granted, but a lot of it's behind the scenes stuff as well. But for one reason or another, it just was not as good as it could have been, and that's what we're looking at today.
And hey, it's our show, so we can nitpick. So
yeah. Trust me, no one's going to overanalyze and criticize the show more than we do.
Exactly.
So and go all the way back to the very, very first episode. We mentioned this. we mentioned it last week.
We tried to watch the first episode. What was it, last night? Or was it Friday? It was last Friday.
And honestly, got so bored we turned it off.
Yeah.
The format is the same. If we did that episode now, it would be pretty much the same flow, but just the fact that we didn't rehearse the episode or anything like that. We sat down. We said, "This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Okay, go."
Yeah.
So it was awkward.
It was stiff.
There wasn't slow.
Wasn't a lot of interaction.
Not a lot of humor thrown in there. We were just now. Right. So it was just. Hello, I'm Spoo.
And I'm Danny.
And welcome to the show. And here's some stories.
Yeah.
So let's read them now.
Well, you know what we looked like? We looked like 7th grade acting. Or freshman acting class. They've given a script and they're getting up on stage and they're just, hi.
Your typical high school news program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, now, God. Dave Davis, I'm looking at you. Hillcrest.
Yeah, again, we mentioned that last week. And kind of the same thing that we mentioned last week where I'm used to being in front of the camera and stuff like that, but he not so much.
I'm used to being in front of a live audience with the theater acting that I've done. So it definitely, there's a different dichotomy
here.
Yeah.
So it was kind of feeling things out. So the first couple of episodes, and you watch that first week, and you could see us gradually getting, we do film a week's worth of episodes at a time in one day. So you watch over the course of that day.
Friday's
the
episode level is 100% better than Monday's episode.
Even Monday to Tuesday, it just goes from this to this. I mean, and you see the comfort level gradually get more and more and more and more and more. And and there's been some weeks along the way where things have become a little routine. We've kind of gotten into a rut, if you will, just kind of going with the flow. I got hiccups.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
It happens.
But so we're going to kind of ignore some of that, the rut, or this was just kind of a boring week or whatever, and go into more specific stuff.
Yeah, things that really, for one reason or another, at the end of the day, just didn't work. Though. I think what we're trying to say is it didn't work the way we had thought they were going to work and the way that we had planned them to work.
Well, yeah. I mean, because you plan for every episode to be perfect, and it's just not going to happen.
No.
Fast forward to episode 17, the What Happens Next episode.
Oh, wow. That was a good episode, too.
It was a really great episode. Yeah, and the episode actually got pulled completely because of copyright.
Yep.
What Happens Next, we were talking about shows that ended on cliffhangers. So what do we think happened after the cliffhanger? So we used clips of the episodes we were talking about showing the final scenes of those episodes, and the whole thing got pulled off YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube flagged it and said bye-bye.
Yeah, so I had to go back and completely redo the entire episode just using pictures, essentially. And it
ruined the flow.
Sucked.
It ruined the flow.
It made me so sad.
Yeah, I was disappointed that YouTube flagged it. And
yeah. But
because it happens. It happens.
So a select few people can claim that they have seen that original episode. I do still have it. So, somewhere down the line,
it may,
in some format or another, maybe it'll become available. Who knows?
The next one is, just a few episodes later on episode 20, we did Cliche Go Away, which we were talking about movie cliches.
Yeah.
And stuff that we didn't like. Things that were overused. And it was stagnant. We had a computer, we were reading outside.
If you watch the episode, we can literally be like, and then this thing, and blah, 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 blah. And I also hate whenever this thing happens, and this thing, and you know what other thing bothers me is, we did that one already.
That one right there, yeah.
We're okay. Yeah, so when this happens, so yeah, it's very obvious and very distracting. And I mean, sure, we got all the points in there that we wanted to talk about, and we were able to discuss those topics and expand upon them, but going from one to the next, you can just watch the episode and
go back and watch the episode. You'll notice us going up and down, up and down, up and down.
So yeah, that one's always bothered me. Speaking of the episode that got pulled for copyright, just a couple episodes after that, episode 22, Terrifying TV for Kids, where we talked about the TV kids shows.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still a fun episode. Even to watch it now, it's a fun episode. But that is another one where there is a longer version of it, where I used longer clips. The Napkin Man theme song had the whole thing on there.
Not just a little itty bit of it.
You see like the first clip.
Which, by the way, we sing a lot at Chocolate Milk Studios.
It still gets stuck in our head today. The first clip that we showed, we came out of it saying, this was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen and whatever. But I showed the whole clip originally. But it was actually, we didn't get flagged or anything. It was actually out of fear that we were going to, because it had just happened, and we were still, fairly new to this, that I went back and made it shorter. But there is a longer version of it that I've got saved in my stuff, and it's a much better, makes more sense, basically.
Yeah, it does make a lot more sense if you can see the entire clips.
Yeah.
Because then it's not like, oh, well, that's the most horrible thing I've ever seen, and there's like that much that you get to see, when in reality it's that much.
Yeah.
Famous last words. We messed up, guys. That's on us. Shpoo was sick.
It wasn't so much a mess up. I mean, I was actually in the process of editing the episode, and I suddenly got just deathly ill, and remained sick for like the next 3-4 days, and I sat the computer down, and I couldn't even get up to do anything with it. So that episode ended up getting posted a day or two late.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Things like that happen. I mean, they're going to happen from time to time. I mean,
it took everything I had to even finish it up and get it posted. Actually, I think even once I had it done, then actually just going on and having to, write the synopsis for the episode and post it, that in and of itself was its own challenge.
Yeah.
So, just another thing. What's next? We got episode 29. It's the end of the world. Almost. And in that one, we kind of, and we've said this before, we kind of improv a lot of what we do. We don't rehearse ahead of time. But there are some times where that goes as far as we pull our articles and our clips and whatnot right before we shoot the episode. And, sometimes that's fine. Worst weeks, that's perfectly fine to do on that day. But when we're talking about a topic where we actually have to go and read information and background on the subject, it helps to have an idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And we actually call ourselves out in that episode.
Yeah, we did. We called ourselves.
We probably should have sat back and watched this before, or read through this before we started shooting and whatever. So, something that we will work on, and we do still do it from time to time, not nearly as much, but
not like we did. Yes.
Typically, we've got everything ready by a few days before we shoot now, but not always the case.
Not always the case, but we try to. Episode 30, the next day, where we talked about the end of the world scenario. Yeah. The problem with that is the mic was turned.
It was still new to us. We hadn't figured out all the specifics of it. The mic was turned this way.
Yeah, we were under the impression that it was an omnidirectional mic, which means it'll pick everything up. No, it's a directional mic.
Oh, yeah.
So Spoo was great. He was crisp. He was loud. I sound like I was talking in the next neighborhood.
Yeah. That's actually an episode we've talked about going back and revisiting.
Yeah, we might have to revisit that episode.
It was such a serious episode, and we, while we tried to keep it as lighthearted, it was a lot more lighthearted than it was originally going to be.
Yeah, originally when we had sat down and talked about it, it was dark.
I mean, I even put the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode that it wasn't a funny episode, and and whatnot. But we've talked about revisiting the scenario and kind of looking at more of the lighthearted side of it. So that may be something that's coming down the road. We don't really know. It's just we've kicked the idea around. But yeah.
Yeah.
My Imaginary Friend.
My Imaginary Friend. What
episode 32.
That was a rough episode.
That was a bad episode.
That was a bad episode. There was a lot of things wrong with that.
We were doing paranormal episodes every other Tuesday at that point. And we had the idea, I think we actually came up with the idea during a different episode, but of doing Imaginary Friends. So we went looking for clips, we went looking for stories, and just didn't come up with anything.
A lot of what we came up with were little Reddits, little creepypastas, 1, 2, 3 sentence things dealing with the topic.
The 2-sentence horror stories.
Which by themselves, that's an amazing thing to read. But it did not fit the idea we had for
Couldn't build a show around.
Couldn't really build. We tried.
So what ended up happening was we actually were going to cut the episode. And we were sitting here looking for other possible topics to discuss, and we decided, we have a couple personal stories. Let's just tell those.
Yeah,
So we shot the episode. It was what it was, and then, but afterwards, it was cast. That was like, we were even just like to each other that it just, it was uncomfortable. It was just forced, and then it was cast. That was like, you guys you kind of have gotten away of, joking around with each other and making things light and whatever. So with that in mind, we went back and we reshot the episode, trying to actually joke around and just have fun with it, and it worked.
Yeah, the
for
second,
the most part.
The second shooting of that episode was definitely a lot more... us. So
you can go back and watch both episodes are actually posted.
Yeah, they're on our.
So you can watch the alternate episode, and if you need to go to sleep or something, I guess, because it's pretty boring.
Annual Urban Olympics.
Yeah.
This was another good idea, bad idea, great topic.
See, I like the episode itself. I think that it was just we meant to go this way and we went that way with it.
Just the poor choices of clips. I think we could have done a better job finding clips.
Yeah. Well, because we ended up talking about the biking and the parkour and stuff like that. When the first clip in that, the guy swimming in the street, that is what we were actually going to do. Was just people doing amusing, funny, sport-type things.
Yeah.
And but then it just turned into an extreme sports episode.
Yeah, it went into an extreme sport episode, which, don't get me wrong. Watching the biker and the parkour guy.
Great clips.
Great clips. Could have been used in a different episode, though.
Yeah. Wasn't what we intended.
Yeah. So
and if we ever do a volume 2 of that, it will be more of the actual what Urban Olympics were supposed to be.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Episode 37.
Kids can't handle the truth.
Kids can't handle the truth.
Yeah. That was kind of another one where we had kind of threw things together at the last minute, and we knew where we wanted to go with it, and we had multiple lists of these are lies that are told to kids on a regular basis. But once we got into it, we kind of rambled on about the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean that's not what we originally intended for the show to be. I think we were originally going to be talking a lot more about personal things we have told our kids.
Yeah.
Kind of like we started with the episode where it's like the DVDs and the food and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the three big fictional characters in a child's life kind of took over, and that's where we went with it.
Yeah.
Again, it's another one of those. It is what it was. What it was.
I mean, the episode is fine. It just wasn't what we wanted it to be.
Yep.
Fast forward to episode 42. 42 through 102.
Actually, yeah, this Tuesday.
This past Tuesday. 13 weeks.
Great concept.
Great idea. And each of the episodes were good in and of themselves, but dear God, 13 weeks of a topic is too much.
That's, considering this is now 21 episodes of each Monday through Friday, that's over two-thirds. That's over two-thirds of our episodes devoted strictly to...
Well, let's see. It started in 42, so that would have been the 9th week.
The 9th week, yeah.
So, yeah, just over half.
Just over half
of the run of this show has been doing 13 weeks. And the whole premise behind it was literally we were talking about when our 100th episode would be coming out, and realizing it was really close to Halloween. And I was like, you know what? There's exactly 13 weeks between now and the week of Halloween. So yeah, we could just do a 13-week thing, and that would be oh yeah, everybody's so excited.
It was exciting. And then about 9 weeks in, we were like, "This is
like God. I'm ready for this to be over.
Done. Let's do something different."
So yeah, well, we're going to be taking a break from doing the series of things, but beyond that, we will do more series, but they'll be like 3 to 4 episodes.
Yeah, they're not going to be anything like 13.
No. No.
And it was just some of them was a challenge. Some of them were, you come here, okay, these are the states we have left. Let's see what we can find. Delaware
had a mermaid and Bigfoot.
Yeah. So I mean, it was difficult to find anything other than a lake monster, and I touched on this on Tuesday. Either a lake monster or a Bigfoot type creature in the United States, as big as this country is, that seems to be the only two cryptids that anybody knows of.
And then you've got states where there's like 20 really cool, really unique ones, but then you've already used that state, so you can't go back and do it again.
Look at Texas. There's it's like I've already used all those.
Yeah. And speaking of which, there was another one, and I forget which episode this happened in, but we actually did the Dover Demon twice.
That was a couple Tuesdays ago.
We were 2/3 of the way through the episode doing the Dover Demon, and I'm like, man, this sounds so familiar. And we stopped.
It was the week of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It was, and I did Dover, Delaware instead of Dover, Massachusetts.
And we stopped 2/3 of the way through the episode because I'm like, no, we've done this. So I go back and look through all my stuff. I'm like, yep, there it is.
We had to scrap that.
We did this all the way back in like week 2 or 3.
Yeah, we had to completely scrap the episode and
start from scratch. Yeah.
Oh, you know, one of the ones that we didn't talk about, and I forget the episode, but the episode where the mic wasn't turned on. We did a complete 2 episodes. We did
2 full episodes,
without the mic being turned on. And we probably would have done the whole week without the mic being turned on. And you would have had no audio because the mic jack was plugged in, but the box wasn't turned on.
And I just happened to notice it at one point. I'm like, the little sound bar on the viewfinder there on the monitor, it's not moving. Why is that not Oh, crap. Well, let's back up.
So we had, what was it, a Monday and a Tuesday?
It was a Monday, Tuesday. We had to completely redo. Yeah. I don't remember when that happened.
I don't either, but yeah, I remember being, thank God we found it then and not on Friday.
Right? I'm just glad we didn't finish the whole week. And then I get home to edit, and I'm like, why is there no sound? What's going on? The mic's broken. God.
Scramble back over here for another day, another evening shoot.
Oh, that would have been a torture. Episode 45, our first challenge episode.
My birthday challenge.
Yes, the Star Wars challenge. And we did go back and make note later on the following week that, hey, we screwed up. The question was put out wrong.
Yes.
The question was, what was it? How much? No, it was how much was the movie made for? How much was A New Hope made for?
Yeah.
And he was saying that it made $30 million, and movies weren't made for $30 million back then.
No.
Or $300 million.
$300 million, yeah.
And I mean, they're not made for $300 million now.
Not generally, no.
So, but the question was supposed to be which one was the first movie to make that much at the box office, is what it was. So my answer was wrong. So we actually tied in that episode, even though in the episode it says that I won by one, but no, we tied.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big screw up, and I had to put notes in the episode showing, hey, we screwed up. And I mean, editing that episode, I got just flat out scared. I'm like, no, we screwed up big time. But so that's one of our biggest actual flubs to date.
But hey, I mean, I think that's just, it's a growing pain, and we can grow from it.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, all of these are growing pains. We can grow from it. Grow. We can grow. I am Groot.
Speaking of growing pains, episode 59, the Tongue Twist Challenge.
That was just
fun concept, fun episode even.
Oh yeah, the intro to that, the teaser, for the week was amazing.
But I don't know. It just, there were no punchlines for one. We were just reading tongue twisters.
Yeah,
there wasn't anything
fun or humorous, or
we didn't run with it.
Yeah,
anywhere.
we could have ran with it. We just didn't.
Yeah. We just read one, and then you read one, and then I read one, and then you read one, and then we threw out a challenge for you guys to send us videos of you doing tongue twisters, and we did not receive a single response.
So if you're watching this, which we know you do, because we get 10 to 12 views a week per episode, which we want more, why didn't you guys send in any tongue twisters? There's books upon books of tongue twisters.
Could have made one up.
Hey. Yeah.
But hey, live and learn.
Episode 76. Great episode. Nuns with Chainsaws. Classic episode. I loved it. But we numbered it wrong.
Well, and this was one that was fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, we caught, Jennifer, Jen, she caught it and let us know about it, and then we passed it along. And he fixed the numbering pretty quick. But the question was, did I sleep a whole week? Where's it at?
I instead of episode 76, I posted it as 81.
Yeah.
And when I post these episodes, I typically will set my alarm for like 5 in the morning. Or sometimes I'll actually start it before I go to sleep, and then that way all I have to do is wake up, hit publish, and then it's there. But yeah, that was one of those. I woke up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to start uploading the episode. So when you're typing in all that information, I'm like,
not quite
81. I think that's where we're at. Yeah, we're not even close to awake yet. So yeah, that was an easy fix, but nonetheless. Episode 85.
Infamous episode 85. It's a good thing we were live that episode.
Yeah, get to know the show, the true or false edition. We happen. I mean, this is just straight up kismet. We happened to record that episode while we were also live on Facebook. Now, we've talked about doing this since day one. And that was the episode where we finally said, okay, we're already live. We're ready to start rolling. Let's just we'll leave it on. We said if we have enough people watching the live feed, we will do the episode live. And we had the right number, so we did the episode live. And thank God we did. The microphone cut out halfway through the episode. I think what we figured out happened is the box came unplugged.
Yeah.
Because the sound just starts fading out all of a sudden, real slow, and then it's just down to nothing until the episode was over, and we're just sitting here kind of talking afterwards, and all of a sudden it just kicks back on. The outlet had come unplugged just enough to turn the power off. And if you kill the power on there, it fades out real slowly.
Yep.
So thank God that we had the backup,
backup
footage,
live stream.
but had to put a disclaimer at the beginning of it, and halfway through the episode, it just cuts to this terrible-looking footage. And but otherwise, I mean, it had not been for that, we would have just not had an episode
that day. Yeah, wouldn't have had it. Episode 89. This was just a couple weeks ago. Let's face it, we just powered through that. We were all in bad moods.
We had to stop filming in the middle so that I could go pick up my daughter from school. And by the time I got back, it was just everybody was already kind of in just a blah sort of mood. And then we are pulling our information for the episode and got into a couple of arguments. Not D and I, but just with others
that were here.
And just things got heated. We started the episode 2 or 3 different times, and we're just like, this just isn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally had to walk away for a good half hour or so.
Yeah, we did. We had to call it quits for about 20 or 30 minutes to let everything simmer.
Yeah, and then came back. It's like, okay, we got to do this. So
we did it. It's a decent episode. It's not a good episode, guys. It really isn't.
Probably our worst.
Yeah, I would say it's our worst episode.
But yeah,
it's there.
It happens.
It happens. I mean, we say that a lot on this recording. So, episode 95, riffing on UFOs, guys. We had intended that to be a lot
totally different.
But when we were previewing,
first off, shooting the promos, the previews, where the whole "get out of my swamp" thing, that was filmed the week before. Normally we film everything at once, and then we shoot the promos last after we filmed the whole week. But that had been filmed the week before, when we were going to be shooting a riffing on aliens, like alien sightings, and the videos we had pulled for that were just wow.
They were bad in a bad way.
So bad.
Not bad in a we could take this and just run with it. Just like they were bad as in like.
You're talking 20-minute videos that have a guy in the same costume that's literally an alien mask and then like a turtleneck and
like a black turtleneck and sneakers.
Yeah,
Converse. Who would believe that?
And it's always just peeking around the corner.
You just kind of like half. Like if you take half of your face, just kind of hi.
Yeah, and that was the video we were going to riff.
Yeah.
And I don't... And it honestly came down to... yes, I'm playing with an Ewok. It honestly came down to this video is just repetitive and boring. Let's go with something else. So we picked out a couple of UFO videos at the last minute as a last-minute replacement. And it was funny. Don't get me wrong. But it was not the intended footage we were going to riff. Not even... And then it made the promo make no sense because it wasn't aliens, it was UFOs. There wasn't a single alien sighting in the whole thing. And there were only like 4 or 5 clips in that whole video, and just repeated over and over and over.
And while it was funny, and we did make a lot of jokes about the repetitiveness of it, I would love to go back and redo that.
Yeah, and we will.
Yeah, we're going to redo that one.
Well, not redo it, but do what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, do what it was supposed to be, yeah.
Honorable mention goes to this week, this whole week, just because I have been sick as a dog, and so I haven't had the energy to be my normal...
To be spoo.
Goofy self.
But that's...
Yeah. But by far, a great episode as far as I'm concerned, and yet at the same time, one of the biggest... moments that went wrong on the show, episode 100.
Yeah.
And
for a lot of reasons.
And I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics, but what I will say is that episode was supposed to be, we had invited the show extended family, as we call them, invited everybody over to have a big barbecue and just basically have a party to celebrate our first 100 episodes. And we ended up with 2 people. And the 2 people that were here are the two people that live the furthest away.
Yeah. Especially Barb.
Yeah, Barb drove 3 hours to
Barb drove 3 hours. I'm gonna call it like I see it. Barb drove 3 hours to sit with us for 7.5 hours. No, she was here 9 hours because afterwards we went to a hotel in Dungeons of Doom. And then she had another 3-hour ride home. So Barb, thank you again for making the trip down here.
Absolutely.
And whenever you're able, you're definitely more than welcome to Chocolate Milk Studios.
Oh yeah. So we ended up taking the episode in a totally different direction and just kind of reflecting on what the show means to us. And honestly, I mean, while I would have loved to have had an exciting 100th episode, something fun and a celebration, taking that look back and kind of actually getting to share some of my thoughts and feelings about what this show means to me, it ended up working in a strange way. So
I enjoyed talking about what the show meant to me, just watching everybody grow. Myself, the dynamic between Spoo and I, the dynamic that Cass now brings to the show, how it all just now it's kind of just circles around. I mean, sometimes we're here and we're just doing things on autopilot because, quite frankly, it's become familiar. It's old hat.
Yeah.
But hey, this is episode 105, so we've got now 195 left to go before our 200th episode.
195? You mean 95?
95, yeah. Yes. Math, no good. I ran out of fingers and toes.
So we've got
guys.
195 episodes to go until we hit 300, guys. That's the
300.
That's the big milestone.
That's the next big milestone is 300.
So, but yeah, so there's just a little peek into some things that didn't work out quite so well over the last 105 episodes, and I'm sure there'll be many more mistakes to come.
There'll be many more mistakes to come.
But there it is.
Yeah.
So hey, tell us what is I almost said tell us your least favorite moment from the show.
Hey, how about this one, guys? Tell us what you liked the most about the last 100 episodes. And you know what? If there's something that didn't work and you caught that maybe we haven't seen, go ahead and put that in the comments below, because constructive criticism is always good criticism.
Yeah. And while you're at it, make sure you check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Push notifications on all of those, and on YouTube for that matter.
And you're here watching us. You have been for, 21 weeks.
Yeah.
21 weeks. It doesn't seem that long, but you've been here with us. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up. Do the things. Do the YouTube things, guys.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys back here
on Monday.
I'm Raiden from the Hotel Terror, and this is your Russian clip of the day.